was a very personal story. I was, living in LA, being an artist, trying to kind of achieve a dream. I wanted to tell a story about that, something that felt very personal and real. But I think musicals are a wonderful way, actually, to get at authentic emotions. Musicals don't have to be artificial. They don't have to feel not real. So I wanted to make a realistic musical. The whole cast was amazing. I mean, they had to bridge those two worlds, the real stuff and the musical numbers, and they just did it so gracefully and so effortlessly. I loved it. Every minute of shooting this movie was like a blessed experience.
Damien, you've done something quite remarkable with this film. Is you've managed to create a film that is a real homage, a love letter to old Hollywood, and yet it never veers into the realm of the pastiche. I mean, how difficult was it to get that balance right?
I'm like coughing. It was difficult. I mean, it's like you never really know if you get the balance right, so I'm very happy to hear you say that. But it was exactly the kind of thing we were watching out for. I wanted it to be obviously borrowing from a lot of my favorite movies, but I wanted it to feel real and new and fresh and not like a trip through the past. It needed to feel like a modern story. And I think part of that is LA is a fascinating city. Modern LA just has so many elements to it, and I think this cast, they were able to really ground it and make it feel relevant on screen. So I have to kind of thank them for that.
If you could explain how do you feel about this movie with some lyrics of a song, which song would that be and why?
Oh my. I got sunshine. I'm feeling good.
I mean, you always require sort of commitment from your actors when you sort of as a director, but to know that kind of like Ryan couldn't even really play the piano 4 months before this. I mean, that must be kind of humbling to know that the effort he put into this project.
It's incredible. No, I planned to have a piano double and cut around him and everything, thinking that he would need some help. There's not a single shot, even close-up of hands, that's a piano double in the movie. Ryan did everything, and but it was the same with Emma. It was the same with everyone in the cast. They embraced the challenge. These were all actors who were like, oh, I got to learn how to sing, I got to dance, I got to do this and that. Okay, like they were all fine with it. They rolled up their sleeves, and it was an amazing experience.
Lovely. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Gosling was Canadian. Did he act particularly hoser-like?
I mean, my mom's side of the family is Canadian, so I could recognize the similar. I can recognize a Canuck when I see one,
Lovely.
To me, it's if it feels personal and if it feels emotional, and I guess those two go hand in hand. But in this case, it was important because you're doing a musical. There's big, fantastical numbers, and you don't want to lose sight of the characters. So it was important that the story feel very grounded and feel like it deals with real human emotions.
What were you trying to capture? What was your vision for this?
It was to try to make a realistic musical, make a movie that indulged in the flights of fantasy of the old musicals, but that felt real and fresh and of today.
If you could go back in time and give yourself advice before you got in the industry, what advice would you give yourself?
To not take it all so personally. I think every rejection is kind of seared in my brain, and a lot of that winds up in this movie. It gives me stuff to write about through these two characters. But I'd probably tell myself to ease up.
Lovely, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey